Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, Nephilim, to 2.6.5 PTR for Diablo 3. We're going to be doing a Legacy of Nightmares Iron Rose Blood Nova pushing build. And this build can go up to 105. I've done that personally, and I think it could probably go above 110 if you have it properly augmented. I only have like 70s to 80s for augments on my gear, and not that high a Paragon, but I was able to clear a GR 100 without any augments and with only 800 Paragons. So this build is capable of pushing up pretty decently high. It may not be quite as strong as Legacy of Nightmares Grim Scythe build, and it's definitely not as strong as Corpse Lance, but it's something different and something fun to push with if you feel like going off meta. All right, let's go ahead and take a second and look at the build. We're running the Corpse Whisper Pauldrons for extra Corpse Lance damage. That's for the Rift Guardian and for stubborn elites that don't want to die. We're running Aquila for damage reduction, Leorix for extra health. We're running Wisdom of Klon to give yourself more armor and more mitigation. Ancient Parthenon's Defenders, again, for more mitigation. We're running St. Arju's Gauge because it gives us a beefy shield whenever we hit an elite. I didn't have a good pair of pants to put on. You could probably do Depth Diggers or something to eke out just a little bit more damage. Most of your damage doesn't come from the Siphon Blood itself, but from the Blood Novas that proc off of Iron Rose, which is a 100% chance to proc a Blood Nova when you're siphoning from a target. I have found that, strangely, paradoxically, you do less procs of your Blood Nova if you have a speed pylon or if you have more attack speed. I think it might make the Blood Novas hit harder, but I'm not quite sure. I did record it and watch it back in slow motion, and I was getting 20 procs of Blood Nova in a 5-second period without the speed pylon, and only 13 procs of Blood Nova with the speed pylon. So it's kind of a little bit strange. But anyway, we're getting most of our damage from the Blood Nova from Iron Rose. We're using a Unity for extra damage reduction, of course pairing it with a Unity on a follower and a Cannot Die relic. The Wind Fury also procs your Crispin's 100% bonus on a regular basis, as well as your Bane of the Trapped, which will do that too. And then we're running Convention of Elements for the 3 rotations, which is better on Necromancer than pretty much any other class. Every 3rd rotation is going to boost your damage of your Blood Nova, which is pretty fantastic. Good chunk of damage there. And then we're running Tregul's Corroded Fang, which will curse enemies, or which causes cursed enemies to take 200% more damage. We have Aura of Frailty on, so enemies will always be cursed, and we're also running Eternal Torment, so they stay cursed in combination with Spreading Malediction, which means they stay cursed and you get more and more damage just kind of ramping up as you work on killing enemies. Illusionary Boost lets you move through enemies unharmed and ignore walls. And then Dainty's Bindings reduces your damage by a static 40 to 50% depending on how it rolls, pretty much all the time. In the cube, we're running with a Quart of Shurma. I would probably ideally want to switch these two around, have the Quart of Shurma on my person and the Dainties in the cube. I just haven't found a good Quart of Shurma to do that with. Alternatively, you could use a Witching Hour in the spot and get that extra crit damage, but again, the attack speed seems to make the Blood Novas worse, so I decided not to do that. Blood Tide Blade increases the damage of your Blood Nova that procs from your Siphon Blood by 400% for every enemy within 25 yards. 25 yards. I'll put up an overlay on screen right now so you can see it. There you go. That's 25 yards. And any enemies within that range will increase your damage by 400%. Crispin Sense, of course, gives a 100% damage bonus to anything that's slowed. Pretty much everything will always be slowed. And triple that, 300% bonus to anything that is stunned for a crazy burst of damage. And that is kind of all of our gear setup. For our skills, we're using Siphon Blood, as we've already talked about, with Power Shift to boost our damage a little bit more and also give us health back. That will also be the thing that procs our Blood Novas from our Iron Rose. Corpse Lance Brittle Touch will cause enemies to take 5% more critical strike, will cause them to be 5% more likely to be critically struck. There we go. And it'll launch off pretty rapidly when we're in Land of the Dead. Corpse Whisper Pauldrons will also stack that damage higher and higher and higher as you launch those Corpse Lances at the enemy. Ends up being quite a lot of damage. Or Frailty to apply our curse and make enemies die 15% sooner. Fantastic. Blood Rush allows us some mobility to reposition as we need to get out of nasty affixes. You could, if you wanted to drop this for Ice Golem and then wear the Golem Skin Breeches for an additional 30% damage reduction, if you chose to go that route. Blood Armor with Dislocation will stun enemies, proccing our Crispins. Oh, also the reason we are wearing The Quarter Shurma is the blind field that comes up for 4 seconds, which is crazy. Will pop the triple damage of the Crispins as well. We are going to do Land of the Dead again, so we can freeze enemies and launch those corpse lances at them. Also essential for killing the Rift Guardian once you get above 100, because this build relies almost entirely on AoE damage and having lots of enemies within range. And short of a few different Rift Guardians, you're not going to have that. So then you need the Land of the Dead and the corpse lance to finish it off. Standalone gives you 100% additional armor, which is pretty fantastic. Final Service gives you a cheat death that stops you from dying. Spreading Malediction will increase your damage by 1% for each enemy curse with one of your curses. Whenever you run through enemies, your Aura of Frailty will be applying the curse. And then Eternal Torment causes curse to last forever. So you just run through them, it applies it, and it stays on them. Alright, so that's kind of the build and how it works. The main thing you want to do is make sure when you're doing this build, you're getting in the middle of lots of density. Once you're in the middle of the density, then you pop your Bone Armor and Siphon Blood. So let's see if we can find an example here. Alright, so we're in the middle of it, Bone Armor and then Siphon Blood, and you can see they blow up pretty quickly. Of course, this is only T16, which is Grey Rift 75, but that's kind of the idea. You'll see a lot of it within the Rift. You get in the middle of them, you pop them. It's pretty fun. It's pretty good. There is a speed variant of this that a couple different people posted. I'll put the links down in the description below. I won't redo the work they've already done. Let's make sure we give them the credit, guys. Go to their site, like their videos, subscribe to their channel, all that good stuff. Support the community. Please, I would highly encourage you to check it out. There's some pretty cool builds on their sites. I believe I have 3 different people who posted variations of the speed build. The famous Lord Fluffy being one of them, of course, and then a couple other newer people that I would highly encourage you guys to check out. But that's kind of the basic idea of how this works. Let's go ahead and see it in action, and I'll leave you guys with the clear video. I'll have 2 side-by-sides. The one on the left will be the 100 without augments and with 800 Paragon, and the one on the right will be the GR105 with low-level augments and 1700 Paragon. Hope you guys enjoy. If you do, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. We do weekly challenge videos. Please tune in for those as well. And thank you for your time. Have a wonderful night. Bye, guys.
Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Don't pause. Press play. 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 Don't pause. Press play. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Press play. Don't pause. Don't pause. Press play. 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 Don't pause. Press play.
I fall? Without a net, where do I fall? High in the spotlight, can't fly, afraid of heights. Can't see the end, what if I choke? There is no end, I'm gonna choke. There's no way out of this circus. We paint on smells so they can't hurt us. Cage with the lions now, begging for silence now. Trying to escape, there is no way out of this circus.
In a distant dream, slowing up the speed of time. Don't let me crash down tonight. I just wanna feel what I feel, what I feel when it's just you and me. I'm falling on my knees just to see if I can still bleed. 'Cause with you I'm it's not a grand delusion. So keep me in this state of mind. Tell me that it's real life. 'Cause with you I'm superhuman. Everything is new in love. It's stronger than the both of us. Together we can spark a flame and freeze the world to numb the pain. I just wanna feel what I feel, what I feel when it's just you and me. I'm falling on my knees just to see if I can still bleed. 'Cause with you I'm superhuman. Hope it's not a grand delusion. So keep me in the state of mind. Tell me that it's real life. 'Cause with you I'm superhuman,
can lay low, where we can get